Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Black Buzz and another Monday where we are able to interview and have a conversation with someone in the community, from the community, and for the community. Well, I could technically say by the community as well, huh? Nah, it's okay. We'll just go with what I said before. Of course, it's KP here, and we have Miss Shay from TB Entertainment, Twice Bless Entertainment, for all your musical needs, right? Whatever it is that you need, you can hit her up. Even if you need support in terms of what you're doing music-wise, she is a good person to hook up with. Shout outs to our boy Lamar, who's not here with us right now. Shout outs to Tia K from T Kicks for all your shoe customization needs. See T Kicks on Instagram, on Facebook, and she is on um is it fit YouTube, yes, YouTube. Oh boy. I should know that by now. Um and yeah, so Black Buzz, if you're interested in hooking up with us, you can reach out to us. We're Black Buzz on YouTube, we're Black Buzz on Instagram, and we're Black Buzz on Facebook.
Or BlackBuzzT0.
Okay, BlackBuzzT0. Thank you for correcting me.
You're welcome.
So if you try to do the whole TO stuff, or so Black Buzz without the TO, might be a little bit challenging, but I think you'll eventually hit up on us, right? But you'll see our logo, the Black Buzz with the CN Tower in it. Today we have with us Miss J. Duncan. All right, Miss Jenna Duncan. She is the person that we're interviewing. She is a she's a certified life coach. She's been a nurse for the past 5 years, currently in the acute mental health services department. Mother of 3 amazing children, passionate about helping people, and she lives on purpose, right? Jenna is the CEO of Mended by the Maker. Mended by the Maker. Welcome, Miss Jenna. How are you doing
Thank
today?
you. I am wonderful. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm here just enjoying the warm weather. Never mind. Yeah, it's good to
Ah,
it's good to be
well,
here. It's good to be here.
it's warm in my heart,
Yeah,
so I'm good.
I'm glad you're enjoying the warmth as well. Listen, welcome to Black Buzz, man. We're
Thank
glad to
you.
have you.
Thank you.
We're interested to hear some of the things that you got to say, some tips you got to share with us,
Mm,
how
mm,
individuals can hook up with you, um, and all these different things. So just
mhm,
before you go into your company and what you do, tell us a
mhm.
little bit about yourself. I mean, I know I read a short thing about the bio, background, some schooling, and just a little bit of who you are, things that you're
Very good.
into.
I am. Well, I am the sister of Michelle.
Okay.
Yeah, we are sisters. This is true. I'm younger. Well, at least that's what I tell myself.
Just like how
Um,
you were warm in your heart. We know. We
yes.
understand. We
Yes.
understand.
Yes. Oh my gosh, what can I tell you about me? Well, I definitely I love reading. So I'm
Mhm,
a very avid reader. Love researching. I am very passionate about post trauma.
mhm,
Um, I, as you stated, I'm a mother, but my children are teenagers. The youngest is 17 and the eldest is 20.
mhm,
And in the middle, we have an 18-year-old.
mhm,
Um, I've done so being a nurse for 5 years, I've actually worked in pretty much all departments. I'm a float nurse,
Okay,
but
before you start there, okay, you
okay.
give us a little background in terms of who you are, your kids, and all these different things. Tell us a little bit about
Mhm.
schooling and education and all.
Okay, so where did I go to school? I went to school at Centennial College to
Okay.
do my RPN.
Yeah.
I am in my, well, about to go into my last semester at Ryerson University, finishing up my bachelor's degree.
Uh-huh.
From there, the intention is to move on. I would like to become a doctor. That's my ultimate goal.
Okay.
I want to be a doctor. So I don't know if I'm gonna go straight into medical school or do the master's route, then go into medical school. I haven't fully decided that yet,
Okay.
but that's the ultimate goal.
Okay.
So what made you get into the medical field?
That is a great question.
You're just
Honestly,
smart.
it wasn't.
I'm just smart.
Yeah, they're that. Honestly, I never wanted to be in the medical field at all. I hated blood. I told myself that I can't stand blood. I don't want to have anything to do with medicine. But it's an interesting story. I actually went to, in Canada, they have a program called, we're in Canada, sorry. They have a program called Second Career. And basically, the government gives you a grant to fund you for 2 to 3 years worth of schooling. I went with my sister, one of my sisters, not Michelle, to fill out an application, but I went there to support her as she filled out the application. And it turned out that she actually didn't get it, but I did, even though I didn't go there with the intention. And so the lady said, the counselor said to me, what would you like to do? And because I didn't go there prepared to do anything, we did this test, a personality test. And one of the things that came up was a nurse. And I said, no, that's not for me. And she said, I think you should try it. And being a yes girl at that time and just wanting to please everyone, I said, sure. And then I absolutely love it. Here I am today. Yeah.
Okay. Here you are, in the medical field. So, you say you had a fear of all the blood thing and all that sort of stuff. So how is it now?
Listen, shoot, I can talk about it. I can see it while I'm eating. Like it's nothing. It's nothing.
Like that now. Wow.
It's nothing. Yeah. It's like just another day.
And you're enjoying it?
I love it. Actually, my favorite department to work in is the ER, where you see all of that,
What category are
you?
Sorry, what category of nurse?
I'm a registered practical nurse or licensed practical nurse.
Okay.
Yeah. So LPN or RPN.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And you're
working towards getting your RN?
I'm sorry?
Are you working towards to get your RN now?
So I'm in my I just finished my second last semester of that. So January, God's willing, I'll be in my last semester and then I'll do the NCLEX and pass by God's grace. And then, yes, I'm an RN.
Yay.
P.S. I work as an RN. I'm just going to put that out there. Yeah.
I'm just saying, after next semester, it's all about, it's more of the.
You'd really think so, but no.
It's all right.
No. It's a tier system. So I have to be in here for 25 years to be making half decent money.
All right.
And that's a no for me. That's a no.
So currently you're working in the acute mental health service. What's the difference between regular mental health and the acute health?
So with regular mental health, at least in our facility, they're a bit more stable. So they're compliant with their medications, they're compliant with their regimes. Whereas acute, these people are like sick. It's like having a cold versus getting a gunshot.
Okay. Wow.
Right? Yeah. So I know that's a bit extreme, but that's kind of the difference. So they're like sick. They haven't been taking their medication. They're completely psychotic. They're delusional. They're violent at times. They're aggressive. Sometimes it takes us nurses going in there with like a team, like a whole team of people. We got security guards. We got the doctors with us. We got other nurses from other units going in with us to sometimes get medication into these patients. It's a lot of seclusions. It's a lot of restraints, as much as we try to stay away from restraints as much as possible.
Yeah.
So that is the population that I'm currently enjoying.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
So how does this now, all the experience transfer over into what you are presenting as Mended of the Maker? Like how the medical field has
Maker.
over into that?
Yes.
Because, I mean,
So
because in terms of, I mean, I can see a transition, but I don't want to put words in your mouth. In the whole mended part. I'm interested.
Okay.
Like, how did it all start up, and what
So it actually started with my own personal journey. Every single person has a bit of quote unquote crazy in them, so to speak, even though we don't like to use that terminology because it is stigmatizing. With me personally, I've had a lot of trauma in my own background. And I found that it transferred into everything that I did, the way I presented myself, the way I showed up, the way I parented, in the relationships that I had, in the relationships that I lost, everything, absolutely, the way I dressed, every single thing. And so I had a really, what I thought was a traumatic breakup. And I just, I was just crying and just wondering like, why? Okay, I shouldn't say that. I wasn't wondering why. I just was beating myself up and blaming myself for everything. And, it's my fault. Maybe if I did this, maybe if I did that, maybe if I changed this, maybe if I changed that. And as I was doing all that, I just kind of heard this voice in my head say, pause and think about the common denominator in all of this. So I started to think back on, everything that I've gone through, that I had control over. And I thought to myself, well, it's me. But it wasn't confirming what I was thinking about myself. The voice was trying to get me to think, not just react, right? To think. And so when I thought about it, the second thing was, do you want to be healed? And I was like, what kind of do I want? Yeah, I want to be healed. I don't want to live in this hell. Of course, I want to be healed. But then I realized that we say we want to be healed, but do we really want to be healed? Right? And when I say that, it's like, are you willing to put in the work? Are you willing to invest? Because you're going to have to invest time. You're going to have to invest money. There's going to be times when, I have to work my full-time job, work my part-time job, because I also have a part-time job where I teach for Durham College, be a parent, and still find time or make the time to do the homework that's necessary for me to heal. And as I went through that process, I went back and forth on it in a sense where there would be days where I would do the homework and I'd be, going strong. And then there's days where I'm like, I can't do this. I'm not doing anything. I give up. I'm depressed. I'm over it. I don't want to do anything. And I would bounce back, and I kept going back and forth and back and forth. And so I began to journal and just kind of, write out what was going on, what I was experiencing, what was working, what wasn't working. And then as I came into mental health, I realized that I'm not going to stretch it, but I do both the acute and post-acute mental health services, but I focus more on the acute. So in mental health, when I'm going to say about 97% of the people that come in, when you go through their background, and sometimes it's not something that's listed, it's not in the notes, so you actually have to sit and talk to individuals, there's always some type of trauma that is in the background of that, where they first started to have like psychotic episodes, where they first started to abuse substances, where they first started to cut themselves, where they first started to just have erratic behaviors, anger outbursts, and then they're labeled, all of these things then become labeled with schizophrenia and bipolar disorder and, adjustment mood disorders, all of these different things, anxiety, depression. But what we then do is, we write a prescription and we give them that prescription. And what the prescription in fact does is it just kind of deals with some of the symptoms, but then it has its own symptoms attached to it, right? And then these people become what we sometimes label as repeat offenders, which is also a stigmatizing statement. But they end up coming back into the system, back into the system, because we're not dealing with the root problem.
Okay.
And so I realized, well, if 97% and the other 3%, you're just not getting information from them. So it is possible that they also have that trauma. They're just not divulging it, right? But if 97% of these people have this one thing in common, why aren't we focused on this one thing? Why aren't we dealing with it? And I mean, trauma affects everyone. It's in the Caribbean. It's everywhere. It is everywhere. And I find that me as a Black woman, it is something that we tend to like push under the rug. Like it didn't happen, or if it did happen, we don't talk about it. We don't tell anybody about it because, you don't want to shame this person or you don't want to shame that person. But the person that's actually dealing with the trauma then becomes labeled as angry, or they become depressed, or, they have just this bad rap that they themselves feel like only they can deal with, but they're not dealing with it. Right. So to sum it all up, when I realized that, and I saw that in my own situation, I realized that there's that gap. That's where the gap is. We need to focus on, of course, giving them something to get them off that the top of the mountain that they're on, to bring them down. But when they're down, we need to give them the help that they need in what's actually keeping them stuck in that situation. And so that's basically the birth of Mended by the Maker, because that's what we do. We're the middleman.
So that is so how long have you been doing this? How long have you been, how many clients have you been dealing with?
So unofficially, I've actually been doing this for a lot longer than I realized. Because what coaching is, although you didn't ask that, okay. So let me answer the question that you asked. Yeah. How long have I been doing it? Officially, we have been open for 1 year come December 25th, because that's when we registered. That's when the business was registered. And
you said we. Get into that too. You said we, so I'll go ahead.
Well, there's a team, right? Because there's no way I can do this in and of, like, by myself. There's absolutely no way. I'm the face of it.
The CEO.
Yes, I am. But there's a team. and yeah, this is my personality, guys. This is what you get when you get me. This is it. There's a team of us. So I do have some of my nursing staff that help. I have
what are their
branding specialists.
What are they like in terms of? Okay.
Give us some of their, yeah. Oh, well, they're RNs and they specialize in mental health. Like that's their specialty. If you were to ask me my specialty, it would be acute medicine.
Right.
I'm a baby to mental health.
Okay.
Right. They are like veterans in mental health. So they have a lot of CBT, a lot of training that I personally I haven't developed as yet. That's what I should say. I have a branding team. I have a team that does my look, my wardrobe. She clearly didn't work on me today because I'm, out here. But yes, yeah.
So sorry. Okay, go continue. You're giving us.
No, I was just gonna say like graphics, like just the people in the background, and then I have my support personnel, and then I have a group of women that Facebook group, that I have for support, like support sisters and stuff like that. So.
Yeah. Okay. So in terms of your coaching, being a life coach, right? And, would individuals be dealing with you specifically directly, or other individuals on the team outside of, graphics and all that? So, we're talking about what the business is all about here.
Yeah, so it depends on the package. Now, you can get a one-on-one, it would be with me. However, if it's the yearly transformational package, you will deal with more than me. So the annual transformational package transforms you internally and externally.
Okay.
Because a lot of people that are post-trauma, they don't know who they really are. They don't know what they really like. They don't know what they really want.
Right.
And that makes sense because of what trauma does to the body, what it does to the brain. It changes the chemistry in the brain. Right. So it changes everything. So you'll get me for the internal work, but the external work. So I have
What do you mean by internal, external? Like internal, external? Okay,
so internal is like the mindset.
Okay.
The mindset changes.
Right,
now, if you haven't had therapy, there would be a therapist, a licensed therapist that we will be working with that you will have access to, which would be included in the package. External will be, how you carry yourself.
Okay.
So the way you dress, the way you present yourself, the way you show up.
And these individuals are licensed and certified
certified in what they do. Okay. That's correct. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
All right. So that's what the we means.
Also a nutritionist. How could I forget my girl? Sorry, love you. But you also get access to a nutritionist because nutrition plays a huge role in mental health. Okay. You have someone that's going to help you with time management, even though I don't like to use that terminology because it's really not time that needs managing. It's us. But just for the sake of what everybody calls it. So with time management, with scheduling, with like just honestly, anything that you can think of that has to do with your life and living a life of purpose or living your life on purpose, you have access to.
Okay. Yeah. So in terms of when I hear the name Mended by the Maker, correct me if I'm wrong, I sense some religious or type lean towards this.
100%.
One, that's what I pick up. And number two, in terms of dealing with a wide audience, I mean, is that something that would turn off individuals, or are people still open to something like that? Or is it geared towards, maybe I should say geared towards a specific demographic or, a certain category of people?
Yep. No, it's not. It is not geared towards a specific category of people. Mended by the Maker, 100%, we are dealing with God. And that name was chosen on purpose. It's a purposeful name. And I use this story to explain that name. What kind of phone do you have?
I have an Android.
You have an Android. Okay. So would you take your Android, if it was broken, to Apple to have it fixed?
No.
Why not?
They're not the originator of it.
There you go. So if my belief, and I'm not putting this on anyone, but my belief is that I was created by God. So if I'm broken, I should go back to my Maker to be mended. That's where that name comes from. So everything that I do with you on the inside, on the internal work, that the basis of it is like biblically principled. Like the principles are biblical.
Okay.
100%. They're biblical principles.
And you put that out there. You put that out there when individuals connect.
I make it plain.
Okay.
I'm not here to force religion on you. I'm not going to say to you, if you come to me and you say, listen, I don't believe in God and I don't pray, but I need your help. I'm not going to say to you, well, sorry, I can't help you because, this is what we do here. No, I don't do that. However, what I will tell you is that is fine. Just know that I will be praying for you. That's number one. And know that all that I teach you are biblical principles. Okay. Now, if they choose not to work with me, I totally respect that and I totally understand that. And if they choose to work with me, then we move forward.
Right. So it just and I'm drilling into it a little bit more because I want you to make it clear in terms of just because there is a religious angle or or a spiritual, let me just say this, a spiritual angle to this business, it doesn't necessarily mean that it is not professional, or you don't necessarily have all the qualification, because you've stated that you have a team of individuals and these individuals are certified in what they do. You've been in operation for a year, at least a year now, right?
Yes.
In terms of client, like how many individuals have connected with you and your team since you know, you've established? Yeah.
So far we are I'm finishing up with my last 2 clients right now, and they will be 10 and 11. So we've had 11 clients since we started. I'm going to say 11 paying clients, and then I had clients that I dealt with, but there was no payment attached to it.
Right.
Yeah, since then. So I would say in total would be about 15.
15.
Yeah, 15. Yeah.
Okay. So 10 and 11 years old?
10 and 11.
You said 10.
Oh, 10. Ages. No. I
oh,
said I'm finishing up with my 10th and 11th.
Oh, okay.
client.
Okay.
Yes, they are a couple.
Okay.
And then, yeah, so they're a dual, but you know, even though you come together, you get separate services. And those are the 10, the 11 will be paying clients. And then I had 4 that were non-paying clients that I just lent or gave my services to.
Okay. How old are these individuals that you, is there a limit in terms of what you, the people that you?
There is not a limit. I think the youngest I've worked with was an 18-year-old, and it was an 18-year-old male. And the eldest that I've worked with thus far, I believe he is 55-year-old male.
Okay.
But I do work with females in between.
All right.
As well.
So what, okay, we're looking at, is it a brochure here that we're looking at?
This is actually my digital business card.
Oh, your business, oh, my bad. Okay.
That's okay.
It has your website on there.
Yes. So we're revamping the website at the time. So if you go on, you're not going to see anything right now. Give us a little bit. We're revamping it, making sure that we have all of the services that you need, and trying to put a lot more resources on there for people. Right. Free, of course. And it says my name, the brand, shows that I am certified, and different ways that you can connect with me. And there's this cute girl on the card. Man, she is just so cute. So
you got her permission to you?
I did. She gave me full permission.
Okay. All right. And of course, you know, before that, we had Instagram up. That was Instagram, right, Shay?
Yes, that was Instagram.
Yes. And we're in the process of revamping Instagram as well. But I decided not to take down the older stuff because I think it's important that people see where I'm coming from.
Right.
I wasn't always as quote unquote polished, and I still don't think I'm polished, right? There's always room to grow. And I'm coachable myself. Like I have my own coach. So always learning and growing and sharing as I go along. So
this is the Instagram stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, this is Instagram. They can find you on the gram. And go back down, Shay. Let me see what
Go back up or down?
Yeah, there you go. Mended by the Maker. That's how we can follow it. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So in terms of that social media and all that, tell us a little bit more, like when individuals come to you and come to your team, right? They understand that, you know, there is, what should I say? This is there's a spiritual side to it? Is it a Christian? Is it like, how do you, you know?
Okay, so you had asked a question before, and I didn't answer it, but I want to answer it here in this section. So you had asked if I'm targeting certain people. I'm targeting people that have had past trauma.
Okay.
Now, do all of my clients that I currently have right now have past trauma? No. Some of them, they may have, but it hasn't affected them as much as my targeted audience, if that makes sense. With that being said, even though I'm targeting people that have had trauma, that doesn't necessarily mean that every single person that have had trauma is going to be my people.
Right.
Some people may look at me and be like, oh no, she is way too excited. She is way too happy. I can't deal with that. And that's okay. I am not your people. And I'm okay with that. So I am here for my people. I am here for my people. I'm here for the people that are like, yes, I'm here for her energy. I'm here for her quirkiness. I'm here for her transparency. I'm here for her honesty. You know, I'm here for whatever it is that she has to deliver. She's my people. Those are my people. Those are the ones that I'm targeting. So if you come and you're like, I don't know if I want to get down with this whole God thing, that's okay. I'm going to bless you. I'm going to pray for you. And then I really do hope that you find what you're looking for. But the reality is, it doesn't matter where you go. Even if someone doesn't name the name of God, the healing, the mending cannot happen without him. It can't. It can't. Absolutely cannot. So, and I'm not going to leave him out. Absolutely no. He's brought me from way too far for me to leave him out. So when people come, they contact, you know, thank you for calling Mended by the Maker. They don't speak to me. They speak to my assistant, and then she books a consultation, or they book a consultation online. How our first session goes is you talk, I listen.
Yeah.
Because the expectation is that if you're coming to this is an expectation, doesn't necessarily mean that it's reality, but the expectation is that if you're coming to me, you know a little bit, something about me, which is why you're coming, right? And I do get questions a lot about the name. I'm very open, very honest about it.
Okay.
I am a Christian. I do believe in Christ. I do believe that we were created and that we didn't evolve from apes, because I mean, why did we all of a sudden just stop? But anyways, that's besides the point. But yes, I'm very, very open, very honest with it. And I find that honestly, a lot of times we feel that people are going to be turned off.
That was my other question, right? That was my other question in terms of, do you have people still reaching out? Oh man, or they're saying, you know, I was looking for someone like you, or a company like this, in terms of, you know, because they would prefer. Get that. All right.
They prefer to deal with someone that has some kind of foundation, right? Some kind of spiritual foundation, someone that they can say God with, someone that they can say pray with, someone that they can, you know, talk about faith with, and not feel like, oh, is it politically correct? Should I be mentioning that? Should I be talking about that? I have clients that have specifically asked in the session, all I want you to do is just pray with me, please.
Or even
that's it.
Or even the you know, the idea that because you have this this spiritual component to it, sometimes individuals come with the idea that this, what you're doing, is less than, or it's substandard, right? It's not up to par. Right? But
that is interesting.
But you know, you have the necessary, you have the team, you have the qualifications in terms of doing something like this. So that, you know, just wanted to, that's what I wanted to dig in, but you've said it.
Of course. That, you know, that's interesting. And it's really, unfortunately, I'm going to call us out here as Christians. We're the ones that actually allow people to even have that mindset when it comes to a Christ-based or a Christian-based business. Because the reality is, if we look at how Christ did things, he was very intentional. He was organized. He didn't do anything haphazard. Everything was done. There was structure. There was order. Like, he's the perfect example of a businessman. Perfect example. And if we are, as Christians, well, if we claim to be Christians, we should be followers of Christ.
Right.
And with that being said, we should be following his structure, his business model, right? And ensuring that we're not giving that a bad name. So I'm very, very passionate about that. I try my best to be as professional as I can be. I'm always learning, always growing. You always find me in some book, You always find me taking some course. I'm investing in personal development constantly. I'm never settled with just, okay, well, I'm just going to pray and God's going to bless this and that's that.
Yeah.
I don't believe in that at all. I believe that if I'm going to name his name, then I need to walk his walk.
Yeah. There's a professional side and there's a spiritual side. Yes.
How do you deal with because we are West Indians, I could be blunt. We have a habit of, it didn't happen. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm gonna bury that deep down inside, and I'll pretend for the rest of my. How do you get? But it's okay from experience. How do you deal with people? Because I know that's a Caribbean mentality. Anything happened in your past, whether it be rape, child molestation, abuse, we act. Once we get out of it, we act like it doesn't there. But as you said, no matter what we do, it in our future it comes out. So how do you deal with, especially church people who have this habit of Jesus go fix it and end up they don't do nothing to work with? How do you deal with that?
Yes. Oh gosh, girl. Okay. So I'm gonna actually even add a piece onto that. A lot of times I get, well, I can't really afford it, or it's too expensive, or you really shouldn't be charging that much. You should take a donation, or a lot of just things surrounding that. And it's like, really? Didn't you come in here in like, $100 shoes? Like, no, seriously? Like, I have those shoes. I know they're $100. Like, I have them. But your wig is a lace front, honey. That's like $200-$300. So basically, with those people, so you have people that are coachable and you have people that are not coachable. And this is why we have the consultation. So even though you may think that you're interviewing me, I'm interviewing you. That's why we're having the consultation. I want to know if you're coachable, because if you're not coachable, I'm not going to encourage you to waste your money, and I'm not going to waste my time. I'm not going to do that. And how do you know if a person is coachable? Based on the things that they're saying to you. So if you say to me, I'll ask you a question. So, tell me about your childhood. And you're like, it was roses and, everything was great and nothing bad ever happened to me and yada, yada, yada. Okay, so then how can I serve you today? Why are you here? Well, I find that I have, what's a classic one? I'm depressed all the time and, I just have low moods and I don't really know why and da 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 da. Okay, when did it start? I think it kind of started when I was 15. Okay, do you remember what happened when you were 15? Not really. So that's the depression in itself is a red flag. The fact that you can't remember is a red flag. Then I try to dig deeper. Why is it a red flag? They're red flags because people with trauma they have this, some of them, not everyone presents differently, but they have this tendency to block certain parts of their childhood out. Okay. So if you can't remember it, why? Why can't you remember it? Something happened there. Why can't you remember it? So I dig deeper and try to find out why. And then I ask questions like, okay, so you feel depressed, you feel low. What have you tried? Well, I haven't tried anything. Okay. What are you willing to try? I don't know. You tell me. Well, no, that's not what I'm here for. We're here to figure out what's going on, like where you are right now and how to move you forward. I am not a counselor. I'm going to make that clear. A lot of people think that coaching is counseling. I am not a counselor, meaning I don't go back in your past and dig up your past and try to tell you why why you've gone through certain things. I don't do that. I'm right here, but in order for me to center you right where you are, you need to accept where you are. And in order for you to accept it, you need to accept your past. You need to be open about your past. You need to be willing to explore. Okay, so this happened. That's why this is happening. Okay, we're moving forward. So I assess whether or not you're coachable or not. I ask, questions like, okay, when people say things like, it's too expensive. Okay, well, what do you need to do? What do you need to do in order to make this investment in yourself? Is it a priority? If it's not a priority right now, that's fine.
Right.
It's okay that it's not a priority, but when will it become a priority? And with regards to the Caribbean people, my people,
Mhm.
that you know, kind of try to hush hush and bury things under the rug, I just ask them, okay, well, how is it working for you?
All right.
You've buried it under the rug for this long. How's it working for you? What are you seeing in your life that you do not like right now that you need to change? Well, in order for you to change it, you have to face it. You have to face those demons. You absolutely have to. And a lot of things, a lot of times, people with trauma, we think that it's challenging for them to forgive the person that has violated them.
Mhm.
It's not. It's hard for them to forgive themselves. They blame themselves for it. It's their fault why this and this and this happened. You know, maybe if I did this, then this wouldn't have happened. Maybe if I said this, then that wouldn't have happened. And it's just a never ending cycle, never ending cycle.
So in terms of so with the coaching
Mhm.
now, is it I'm trying to formulate my question here. Do you give them specific tasks to do, or is,
Yes.
you know, you help them to sort out, you know, not just the
Mhm.
trauma, but right, but
Yes,
like,
they have homework. You are not coming to see me without getting homework. You get homework every single session. And some of the homework,
what would the homework be like? What would some of the
um,
homework be like?
so we start off with naming your trauma. That's one of the things we start off with. You have
Okay,
to name your trauma. What happened to you?
okay.
Whether it be you journal it, whether it be
Mhm.
if singing is something that you do, you sing about it. Whether it be painting, you paint it. Whether you draw it,
Right.
it's specific to the individual, but you have to name your trauma. You absolutely have to.
Okay.
Then, moving from naming the trauma, we move on to, well, where do you fit? Where do you fit in that trauma? Where do you see yourself? Who are you in that trauma? Right? So, like I said, I find that a lot of people think it's their fault. They blame themselves. Then we move on to the heart work of like forgiving. You have to forgive yourself. You have to. And then a lot of people with trauma have various cognitive distortions. And so we're working on changing their beliefs, right?
Mhm.
Helping them change their beliefs. And it's not something woo woo where you're just repeating something to yourself over and over again. It doesn't always work like that. It's realistic. So it's like pen to paper. This is what I feel. So I feel sad, for example. Well, why do you feel sad? I feel sad because my puppy died. Okay.
Mhm.
Is that a legitimate feeling for your puppy dying? Well, yeah, it is. Then how long have you been sad? I've been sad for 10 years because my puppy died. Is that a legitimate feeling for your puppy dying? And when I say sad,
Right.
like there are degrees, right? Of course. But if you're crying every day, 10 years after your puppy died, then you're really not sad because your puppy died. There's something else there,
Mhm.
right? So we go through it's the framework is the same, but it's different for every single person. I can't use the same questions or the same tactics, so to speak, for every person because everyone is so unique. So unique.
Mhm.
Yeah. But expect
So
growth.
why when I hear coaching though, I mean,
Mhm.
they're I think you made it clear that, you know, you're not a, what do you
Counselor,
say, is it
therapist, nope.
counselor? Yeah, but it sounds like that. And when I think about coaching,
Hmm.
you know, I'm thinking about uh, it's help to manage your day to day activities.
Hmm.
No, you know, pardon me for my ignorance, but I'm just
No.
trying to sort of, you know.
Hmm.
So, but maybe it's just the top end that you're describing. Like, you know, what other things would need to be coached up outside of the trauma? I mean, you say you
Hmm.
deal with the trauma, that I get, but
Hmm.
what are the other things? Because I hear coaching, I know what, you know, the concept of coaching is. I'm a sports guy, right?
Yeah.
Or you know, whatever the cooking or whatever the case is, right?
Yeah.
Your coach, you know, you give them recipes if it's a cook, you know,
Mhm.
watch them cook and, you know, help them. They may be a little nervous. They call you and you support them through that, you know?
Mhm.
So what about,
That's it.
am I,
That's it.
so
That's it. But
so
I'm doing
what are
this.
some other things before, you know, because like I said, the top end is what you've
Mhm.
described, or
Mhm.
the initial phase, right?
Okay.
What are these
Okay.
other things?
Okay. So the other things that, so there's a saying that when you change one thing, you change
Mhm.
everything,
Okay.
right? So because I am, because I say I focus on the trauma,
Mm-hmm.
doesn't necessarily mean that everything else gets left behind.
Okay.
Once you are, once you are grounded,
Mm-hmm.
right? Once you have an understanding of this trauma, what it has done to you, what how it has changed your mindset, your outlook, then then are we at that place where we can say, yes, so this is where I am, right? Um, I use myself as an example, depressed, like chronically depressed, right? Diagnosed chronically depressed, anxiety, not showing up for my children, constantly yelling and screaming at them, not being that present parent, um, hiding behind this facade that I was someone that I really wasn't. Always saying yes because I didn't want to. I needed to people please. Not being able to make simple decisions. Always having to reach out and say, do you think I should do this or do you think I should do that? Just constantly being in a state of fight or flight, and then it manifested
Mm-hmm.
in physical health issues as well.
Right.
So I help someone like me understand why you're here. This
Right.
is why you're currently presenting as this. Now that you understand why you're here, tell me where you want to go.
Okay.
What does the ideal day in the life of Jenna looks like?
Mm-hmm.
Well, she is consistent. She is deliberate. She's able to make decisions. She meal preps. She is attentive. She's present. She's kind. She's soft spoken. Even though I'm still working on that, y'all. I'm still working on that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
she knows when to say no. She's balanced. She's um, loving to her children. She is. It's okay for you to touch her and not feel like, oh my goodness, like the worst thing has ever happened. For her to not feel squeamish. um, she's not depressed. She's full of life. Great. So now that you've explained all that, now we're going to start giving you tips and tools on how to get there. And when you digress, I'm here. Like I'm here for it. I'm here. I'm here to grab you by the shirt collar and say, hey, we're not heading in that direction anymore. We're in a different direction. So
Oh,
it's like a transformation.
okay.
Yeah.
It's like a transformative big sister or big brother situation. So yeah, yeah. Okay,
Yes.
cool.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yeah.
sorry, Enid, I know we kind of skimmed over it, but you said there is a health component about this, like food.
Yes.
Nutrition.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I was going
100%.
to say something else besides nutrition. It starts with a V, but I'm going to just let you go ahead and throw words that, not throw words at the one below. Go ahead. So, what
Yes,
is that
there's
component?
definitely a health component to this. So, the background in trauma as well, research actually has shown, and everything that I've said to you thus far, it's backed by research, and I probably should have mentioned that. But research has shown that let's just look at depression and anxiety. Nutrition plays such an important role in um, the reversal, we're going to use the word reversal, the reversal in depression and anxiety, such an important role. And I find that people with trauma, we either overeat, we undereat, we're
Okay.
definitely malnourished because we don't have that concept of self-awareness. We are not, everybody, every trauma, straight across the board, you don't have a concept of self-awareness. Why is that? what happens in trauma, among many things, is there is an area of the brain, that's the middle part of the brain that I'm kind of drawing here on my finger, going to the back of the brain, that is responsible for self-awareness. And when someone has, and then it lands at the back, and that part is just basically responsible for the things that keep you alive. So the breathing, and the blinking, and stuff like that, and your heart beating, and et cetera, et cetera. But what happens is when you go through a traumatic experience, this shuts down completely.
Right.
Completely shuts down. So what happens is, even if you don't physically relive the trauma, internally your body is reliving the trauma, and it continues to shut this part down, to shut this part down, to shut this part down. And this person keeps growing physically, but mentally there's lack, very, very minimal, if any, self-awareness. For an example, with me, last year, I had a personal trainer, and they have like these little blocks at the gym that you can just jump on, and then you come back down off of.
Yeah.
And the thing was probably this big. Forgive me, I'm not very good with measurements. God's working on me, but it was about this big. So it wasn't that big at all. And I stood in front of it for the longest time, and I couldn't bring myself I couldn't grasp the concept, so to speak, of me jumping off the ground and actually landing on it versus me jumping off the ground and falling. I didn't have that self-awareness. So once my feet left the ground, in my mind, it was like, I'm going to fall. Like how could I, even though I was like right up to it, there's no way I could fall because it was wide enough, right? And it was it had a great supportive base. It was flat on the ground, just a bit of height, and I could not. And my daughter was in there making fun of me, laughing, because if she didn't know, and I didn't know either. It wasn't until I started to do the research that I realized, wow, I get it. That part of my brain it's been shut down for so long that, yeah, it takes a while. It takes a while, but you can get it back. Yeah. So, yeah, self-awareness. It's something that our trauma sisters and brothers struggle with.
I was gonna, well, we only have like a few minutes left. I don't want to go over, but why just coaching? Why not life coach?
Well,
there's a difference there.
Honestly, there is no difference. Why not life coach? I think it is life coach. It says post-trauma life coaching, doesn't it?
Okay,
I think it does. It's supposed to.
Okay. Well, I'm just, sorry, maybe it does. Yeah. And, but you're heavy on the coaching. So I just wanted to make sure that there's no distinction necessarily.
I think, oh gosh, hold on. I haven't looked at it in a while. Sorry. It does?
Yeah.
Because I can't see it on the screen.
Yeah,
okay, perfect. Yeah.
I don't know if in terms of how you're sharing it, it's that it doesn't come, it's not up. Oh,
there it is. Certified, yes, post-trauma life coach. And I guess I specified post-trauma instead of just leaving it as life. Okay. Because it's something I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
And I find that when you're passionate about something, you give more of yourself to it.
Yeah.
And I pour my heart, I pour all that I can into my clients. I do, because I'm just so passionate about their healing. I really am. If God can do it for me, there's no one on the face of this earth that can't heal. You just have to want it. You have to want it, and you have to be willing to put in the work. It's not going to be easy. It's not. It's an investment. But before you go, I want to share this quote from a famous writer, and it says that I'm speaking to my fellow Adventist friends, and I'm specifying Adventist friends because we have this mentality, like Shay said, Jesus is going to fix it. Okay, he will, but the author says, and I'll tell you who the author is after, but the author says, our first duty towards God and our fellow being is that of self-development. Every faculty with which the Creator has endowed us should be cultivated to the highest degree of perfection, that we may be able to do the greatest amount of good of which we are capable. So Jesus will fix it, but you have to do the work. You have to. And that is from Ellen G. White. The book is Counsels on Diets and Food, page 15, if you want to reference it. But you have to do the work. You have to. God is not just going to come and say, you know, I'm going to heal you and that's that. No, there's things that you have to do, right? If I just sat down and say, God's going to heal me, but you know, I didn't go to depression recovery classes. I didn't, you know, pick up a book and learn anything about depression. I didn't try to understand my trauma. I'd still be where I was, or even worse. His promise is true, yes, but there's a work that we have to do. Just wanted to put that out there.
All right, thank you very much, Miss
You're welcome.
Jenna Duncan, for coming on to Black Buzz and sharing with us your business, what it is that you do. You had me asking a whole bunch of questions.
I love it. I love it. Bring it on.
That I really wasn't, I had no clue about, but that's usually me on this thing, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Mending. So, your company's called again? Remind me.
Mended by the Maker.
Mended by the Maker, and all your
Yes.
necessary information is there. Like I said, you are on Instagram. You got right there an email address.
Facebook. Yes.
Oh, and you're on Facebook too. It says Facebook.
I am on Facebook. Yes, I'm on Facebook as Jenna Duncan.
Oh, as Jenna. Okay, not
Jenna Duncan.
Mended. Okay.
That's right. And on YouTube, videos
You're
will be going up shortly. Bear with me. The videos will be going up shortly. And the idea is that I'm educating about trauma. Mm-hmm. That would be the idea. And then giving 2 to 3 tips on things that you can do if you're not in a position where coaching is a priority for you right now.
Okay.
So yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me. This is awesome.
No worries, man. This is what Black Buzz is all about. You know, want to bring it, bring the information to the public, to our people specifically, right? And we're unapologetic. Say it all the time.
Absolutely, absolutely. Listen, my Black brothers and sisters, it's time to heal. Okay, we can't be out here in these streets running around with this background trauma. I'm speaking to you, whoever you are. It's time to heal. Today is the day.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
All right. So we'll see you all again on another Monday, folks. Thanks always for watching and supporting Black Buzz. If you want to reach out to us, we are on YouTube, we're on Facebook, and we're on Instagram. Remember, BlackBuzzT0, BlackBuzzT0, BlackBuzzT0. Just reach out to us, and if you want to come on here, and we'll gladly put you on and hear what it is that you're doing. JP, Shay, and Miss Jenna Duncan. Take care of yourself.
Bye. Take care.